We now know the two teams who will battle it out, and one of them is not England, unfortunately, but also Gloucester getting that brilliant win at Newcastle as well. We're going to talk to one of our Gloucestershire rugby clubs now who's got a big funding target to aim for. This is Dursley Rugby Club. They're aiming to raise £10,000 in the next few weeks. This is quite urgent fundraising, just the next few weeks, to install solar panels and storage batteries. Let's find out what it means to the club, how important it is. Phil Sprague is the chairman, Paul Hollingworth is the treasurer. They're both here now. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, thanks for coming in and telling us about this. But we have to start with the atmosphere at the weekend and everybody gathering to watch that England match. What was it like?
Oh, just fantastic. I mean, we had a patrons lunch, so the atmosphere it spread from the lunchtime right into the evening. And the rugby club on a big game day like that is always very, very good. So yeah, it was excellent. And we're hoping for the same this weekend coming.
Yes, we've got to gather for the final as well.
We've got to gather for the final as well, and maybe even on a Friday evening for the England bronze medal playoff.
Yeah. I mean, what's this bronze medal? I mean, they have it in all sorts of tournaments, don't they? You know, you crash out in the most important match, then you've got to play again.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
You know, it's not great, is it? But they've got to lift themselves for that.
Yeah, it's not the most appealing of fixtures to have to play, I'm sure, but you've got to do it, and it gives England some credibility, I think. You think where we started a few weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, it was not looking great, was it?
As I said, you know, no one expected England to be leading a semi-final against the world champions for all but 2.5 minutes.
Yes.
That's what
Exactly.
happened. Oh dear. But, you know, fundraising, the grassroots rugby is very different, of course. We've got the, Stade de France absolutely packed, Let's talk about grassroots rugby, Dursley Rugby Club, and the money that you need to raise. And this is really important because the club is not just for rugby, it's for lots of other community clubs as well. And you've got this £10,000 target.
Yes, we have. So back to your point, it's a rugby club at its heart, but we've tried over the recent years and into our 5-year strategy forward to place the club right at the heart of the community. And so when we talk about the facility, yes, it is a rugby club, but it's a running club, it's a cricket club. We have Rotary meetings there every week. We've got toddler groups there. We've got Slimming World there. We have weddings. Last week we had a wedding in the middle of the week. All of these things are conduits for raising cash. But of course, the more you do at the club, the more you spend. We're in a cost of living crisis, and we feel that as a rugby club, probably more than most individuals, most consumers would. And so the true reality is we have to keep a steady stream of income coming in. Our strategy really for the solar, which is going to cost us in total £40,000, is to install this so that we become more self-sufficient and have greater control over our utility usage. And that then helps every part of the club.
Yeah, and not just the rugby, as you say, all these other groups
Exactly.
as well. So the treasurer then, Phil, you're the treasurer.
No, Paul's the treasurer.
Oh, sorry, yes, you're the chairman, you're spending the money.
I'm
Okay,
spending
right.
the money, yeah.
So you've done a lot of fundraising already. You're aiming to get to 10,000, but the overall cost is 40,000, so
Yes.
a lot's happened already.
Yeah, we've had some really generous people around the club, and many of our sponsors have chipped in. Magnox, for example, gave us a very large grant to do this. We've had monies from elsewhere. And over the last 6 to 12 months or so, we've raised a good half of this 40,000. So hence the gap, which is the 20,000 we still need. Aviva, we're delighted with Aviva allowing us to be a member of their Crowdfunder community. So every pound that we raise now through the Crowdfunder, Aviva will match. Hence, we need to raise 10,000 to get the 20,000 that's left to go.
Yeah, and there's a time frame on it.
And there's a time frame. It was 8 weeks. We've got 3 weeks to go. We're already at the matched fund of about 8,000, so we have 12,000 to go. But we're fairly confident that over the next few weeks we'll be able to raise this. But bearing in mind where we started at 40,000. Just requiring an extra 12 now is a really good
Very good going, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
What have you put on? How have people kind of come together to raise this money?
Yeah, a number of our sponsors have offered up rewards. So, if, for example, if you go onto our Crowdfunder site, Harness the Power, then you can see ways of sponsoring us for maybe a few pounds, and then there's a free bobble hat, or there's an opportunity for a business to put a hoarding on our club so that they can advertise themselves around the community. And I think all of these rewards that we've been giving from some very generous people have been have been well received.
Because it's important to the community, isn't it?
Absolutely.
As you heard, it's all
Absolutely.
those groups coming together. And we should give the ladies team a big shout out because they won at the weekend.
Absolutely,
They've
yes.
been on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. I've spoken to them loads of times this year, but they're really on the up as well, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And they're a valuable part of the club community as well. They bring all sorts of interesting things to the fore. I think there's a Halloween party that they're having at the weekend coming. Always good to have a broad range of the community in there.
Yeah.
I mean, we should shout out to the minis and youth as well. There's about 400 of the minis and youth that come together most Sundays. And
400 children are there.
400 children.
That's a lot. That's so many.
Age ranging from
Wow.
3 right up to 18.
Yeah.
And in fact, one of the really interesting things about the club is, we go right up to 83. We've got a walking rugby team with some seriously old guys that want to continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had an under 70s versus over 70s walking rugby match recently.
Oh, I love it.
So there's no reason why you can't come and keep fit with the club, or look at bringing some friends along and enjoying yourself, because that's what community rugby is all
And
about.
of course, you're juggling the finances, aren't you, and trying to make all this work, and you want the lights on all the time and the heating during winter as well. So how difficult has that been to
It is a challenge, Nicky. I mean,
sorted?
frankly, it costs us £117,000 a year based on last year's full year numbers to keep the club open. And at best, we're probably generating £87,000 in the various income streams that we have. So there's about a £550 gap every week. And so we rely on fundraising to actually bridge that gap. And one of the things about the solar project, it will give us better control over our utility costs, which are amongst the highest proportion of the total costs.
And you don't know what's going to happen in the future with
Absolutely.
those as well. I mean, that's the figure for now, but it could go up again.
It really could. And, we did a survey amongst all of the club members, of which there's probably about 1,000 across the various sections. And something approaching 75% said, the one thing that we want you to do, Dursley, is to become more sustainable. So invest in things like renewable energy. And so the solar power project is bang in the crosshairs of that objective.
And everyone's behind it, clearly, aren't they?
Yeah, so part of our 5-year plan is to become a sustainable club. So this isn't just about cutting our costs and improving the way that we spend our money, but it's about carbon neutrality. So we are looking to be a carbon neutral club in the next 5 or 6 years. We haven't got the funding that Forest Green Rovers have got, but we think with a bit of support from a few other people, we could get to the similar sort of levels as them, so that we are a sustainable club for many, many years. We've just had our 70th birthday. We'd like another 70 years of the rugby club, and this is the way forward.
Yeah, and it's really it'll become the only way forward, won't
Yes.
it? For clubs like this in the community, important social gathering places, aren't they? Not just to play
Absolutely.
the rugby, but important, and the community cares about this and wants you to be sustainable.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. So how can people find out more about the fundraising,
Okay.
which is in the next few weeks, isn't it?
It is.
End
indeed.
of November.
End
we
of
have to-
November,
yeah,
right.
we have to
So,
do.
so we've got a number of ways you can, if you go onto dursley.rfc.co.uk, there's a link there on our front page to the Crowdfunder side, or if you just go onto your search engine and just type in Crowdfunder Dursley Rugby Club, and then follow anything there to harness the power.
Great.
And you'll be able to donate as appropriate.
Yeah, harness the power. That's the thing. That's what England need to do in their third place playoff. Yes. And
Let's hope so.
the first team generally, how are they doing?
Our first team are doing pretty well. We had a really tough game on Saturday. We were significantly losing at half time. I think it was 31-3 at half time, but we came back and won 32-30-1. So we're very pleased with the way our first team are performing. Our second team are doing really well too. We're looking to get our third teams out shortly. So this is a club for all abilities, all ages. We're a very inclusive club, and we'd love people to come and play with us, for us, and just to join our community.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like a fantastic community. Every time I've spoken to someone from Dursley Rugby Club, it's there's always something going on, and this is a brilliant project. Hopefully you'll get to your fundraising target and have a good rest of season for all the teams there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
for coming in to Paul Hollingworth and Phil Sprague from Dursley Rugby Club.